Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on Star Wars. Today, I am Tim VanAutreve, much like every other day, and I am joined by co-host Jennifer VanAutreve. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Today only.
Hello.
Hello.
Tomorrow she'll be
Who knows?
Jonas.
Who knows? Also, Josh the Tosh Mason.
Hi.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks.
Today we're going to be discussing Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 6, titled something. What is it titled?
It's like the Invincible Soldiers, or what is it?
We should look this stuff up.
I don't know
before
the
we start
title
recording.
at all.
It's
a Mandalorian one.
But it's about Imperial super soldiers, shock troopers, Imperial super soldiers, I think.
Yeah. Well, spoilers.
What spoilers? What?
You're spoiling it.
That's the name, the title.
Iron Squadron.
No, that's not it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm certain.
Okay.
It's called like the Imperial super soldiers, or
okay. Hold on. I'm getting it pulled
the
up
internet's
here.
hard here.
I'm getting it pulled up.
It's currently snowing outside.
Yeah, that's
There's
got
about, I don't know, inch and a half of snow out there. We weren't supposed to get that much, but it just keeps snowing.
Imperial Super Commandos.
There you go. See?
Iron Squadron's next.
Yeah.
Okay.
You spoiled it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, this is written by a comic book guy, Chris Yost. He writes a lot of like teenage drama stuff.
Yeah.
I really liked this episode.
Yeah, I did too.
All right.
My
Let's move on to
favorite.
letters.
Favorite Mandalorian one. What? Did you not like it?
Oh, it's just you. It's a funny segue.
It's not funny. She's trying to get us back on track. What,
So talk about
yeah,
it.
tell us what happened.
You
in the
just watched
episode.
it.
Oh, man.
Fresh. Farm fresh in your mind.
Okay, so this is the first time that we've seen Rao since they've
Ben
captured
Rao.
him, I think.
I think
in
so, too.
Concord Dawn. The Concord Dawn episode with the Mandalorians, they captured their leader, one of the protectors, Fen Rao. And we haven't really seen him this whole time, but now we know he's been basically imprisoned on their ship. Sabine looks like she's been trying to build a relationship with him, and she's playing some kind of chess-like game with him in the beginning, and he's basically not interested in helping them in any way. And then Hera decides to send them on a mission with Ezra and Chopper. They think that his people are like sending...
Well, they've
I don't
lost
know.
contact, like the last couple adventures through Concord Dawn, because they're using it as a shipping lane kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They've had no contact, and like they think all the protectors they've gone AWOL.
But so they think they might be sending a trap to get Fen Rao back there, but they're not sure. So that's why they're sending all of them down to figure out what's going on. Fen Rao is like in handcuffs, and he breaks free.
They're called binders in Star Wars.
I don't know what they're
Yeah.
called. Binders. He breaks free in the ship and knocks Ezra and Sabine out, and then gets them in binders. And
He double crosses them.
yeah, he never really acted like he wasn't gonna. I mean, he never pretended to be on their
No.
side. He just flat out hates them. So they come to, and then they get out of the ship and find him, and his whole, I don't know,
The base, yeah.
whatever, is completely destroyed.
And all of his people are dead.
Yeah, and he thinks it was another clan that came and did it, and
Because of how precise the laser
Yeah.
blasts were.
and it's actually
He thinks it's the Death Watch, which is Sabine's.
old family.
Her
our
family was in charge of the Death Watch.
But it's actually Imperial.
Well, they're
it's like
Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians that now work for the Empire.
Yeah, they went through the Imperial Academy and were actually trained to be Imperial soldiers. But they still have the jetpacks and Mando armor.
They look like Mandos, but with
Mixed
like
with a stormtrooper.
Imperial paint schemes.
Yeah.
So he's still, Rao is still doesn't really want anything to do with them. He wants revenge. He doesn't care about the rebels. He's actually going to try to use the rebel base as an information bargaining chip or whatever, and he tries to like split off from them. And then, I mean,
he steals the ship.
It doesn't take very long at all. And then the Mandalorian Imperials are on them, and
there was a probe droid that they blew up.
Yeah.
And then
okay, so there's a probe droid, and Ezra uses the Force to hold him in place while Sabine shoots him down, but he must have already sent a signal, because the next thing you know, these Imperial Mandalorians are flying at them with their jetpacks, like maybe 6 of them, I don't know. And so they're trying to run away from them. They get split. Ezra kind of creates a distraction, and then they all start following him. He does not have his lightsaber on him or anything, because Rao stole it when he knocked them out on the ship, so he's kind of defenseless. So him and Chopper get captured, and they're kind of being like interrogated by these Mandalorians, and he's trying to tell them that he's just some scavenger. He keeps telling lies, and Mandalorians are not buying it.
He said he was part of Hondo's crew.
Yeah, he keeps telling
Lando.
different lies, and they keep threatening to shoot him and shoot Chopper, and then finally he has to use the Force to divert their beams from hitting Chopper. So then they realize that he's a Jedi, or that he's using the Force. So then they know he's with the rebels, and at that point, Sabine and Rao are kind of watching what's going on. Rao just wants to leave him. He like doesn't care. He's like, it's a sacrifice. He's just a pawn. We need to get out of here. Or he doesn't even care about her. He's like, whatever.
I'm getting out.
He's like, I'm getting out of here. I don't care about him. And she keeps trying to convince him that they have to go back and save them. And, Ezra's not a pawn and this and that. And that's kind of the whole dynamic. And finally, by the end, he realizes that she is loyal to her crew, which is like now her family, and that she's not like this deserter and traitor and horrible person like he thought.
Well, this is after he steals the Phantom too.
Yeah, but he comes to the realization after many things happen in this episode, but that's the end result. He finally realizes that he's going to join their side. So it's basically they steal
a jetpack.
She steals a jetpack from one of the Mandalorians. There's a lot of little battles between them. He steals the Phoenix 2 or whatever it's called. The Phantom 2, and he's gonna just leave them, and then he decides to come back and save them, and that's Rao that I'm talking about. The coolest scene that I think this is the coolest scene I've seen in a long time, is Sabine on the jetpack, and Ezra, she's like holding Ezra underneath her, and she's flying, and Chopper's flying with them, and then all these Mandalorians are chasing them. They're going through like this rocky, mountainous area.
It'd be called a canyon.
All these rock formations everywhere, and
it looked like a pod race.
He starts to fall, and she grabs him by the arm, and then he starts using his lightsaber to block all of the blasters that are coming at them, and then he starts like he'll go to fall, or he'll jump and he'll like bounce off a rock formation and then get back on her back, and he jumped on one of the Mandalorians and then jumps back on her and fell off her one time and lands on Chopper, and I don't know, that was really cool.
Pretty frenetic action sequence.
Yeah.
But usually they're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem as cool to me.
A very cinematic chase scene. I mean, it was a very wide scope, and there were a lot of wide angle lenses, like shots of the scene. It was really impressive. I mean, it really, really was.
I like when they're out in space and they're just all shooting at each other. It's like, yeah, whatever. This was just, I don't know, look a lot cooler.
It was cool. I'm not denigrating it.
So they basically, when they're doing that whole chase scene, they take out most of these Mandalorians. There's really only a couple left, and Chopper this whole time is leading them to the Mandalorian ship that he's tracked, because they think Rao is gone with their ship, and so they make it back to the Mandalorian ship, and they've just got a couple of the Mandalorians left, including the leader. And that's when
Gar Saxon is his name.
Yeah, that's when Rao circles back and says that he's going to protect them and
they're under
take
my
out
protection.
So they take out the one Mandalorian that's left besides Gar Saxon, and then Sabine does some like hand-to-hand combat. She doesn't have a weapon on her either at this point, I think, or for some reason she's just fighting him like MMA style, like. And that was a pretty good fight too. You see her beating him up, and he's got like a huge rifle type blaster, but they all get away, of course, but he ends up shooting her jetpack that she was super excited about.
She could probably fix it.
And then they get away. They get away.
I was surprised that Finn Rao left in the first place, because he seemed like an honorable dude. He was out for himself like the whole time, just like the Mandos were. They were opportunists.
Well, he was blaming Sabine. In the beginning, I guess we didn't say, he blamed the rebels for all of his people dying, because he said, if you didn't capture me, I would have been here and this never would have happened. And so he's hating them even more than he ever did, because he thinks it's all their fault that they died.
But then he finds out that Gar Saxon was going to attack all of them anyway.
Yeah, then he finds out. So that's when he says we'll have a truce for now, but he still isn't on their side. He's just, okay, I don't hate you as much right now.
Well, Gar Saxon was in House Vizsla as well,
which is the same house that
Sabine's.
It does also. I like this episode because you understand the Mandalorians a little bit better, which is really confusing to me. There's one point when before they get to this base, they're just flying there, and Ezra's like, I don't understand this whole Mandalorian thing. And I'm like, I don't either.
You should watch the Clone Wars.
And then he gets hit over the head.
Yeah.
Afterward.
And then he gets knocked out. But it talks about Sabine's clan a little bit more, about her mother. So her mother's alive and her mother's working for the Empire.
Well, you don't know it.
They said it.
Yeah, but Sabine was like, don't listen.
Oh,
He's lying.
She kind of made it sound like so Gar Saxon made it sound like her mother was on their side, and then Sabine says, well, I'm sure you didn't give her a choice, so I think she thinks she was forced into working for the Empire. I'm guessing she's with the Empire whether she wants to be there or not, but I don't think they've ever really talked specifically about her mother before.
What if she comes back and she's the hero? She saves the rebels.
Who?
Sabine's mom. She's going to be the hero of the whole show.
Are you chewing on your fingernail?
Yeah. Why? Here, let me stop.
It's just gross. Thanks.
Wow.
Zumba will get it.
Yep.
We got a robot vacuum.
Oh,
that was a big thing.
That's another reason why we haven't been podcasting. We've been too busy watching our robot vacuum for us.
I've heard it on comms more than once.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty awesome.
My computer's right in the middle of everything, so it picks up a lot of the noise from my household.
Put it in here.
Oh, no. I wouldn't be allowed to play. My wife gets mad when I hang out up here by myself. She thinks I'm trying to ditch her.
You're never up here by yourself.
That's because you've given me hell when I've done it.
No, whatever.
That's a bad word.
Oh. Yeah, it was.
You're going to have to blurp it.
Dang it. All right.
Anyway, this was a really good episode.
So what are you going to rate it?
9.5.
Wow.
That's pretty high. I'd say it's an 8.
I'm going 8. Yeah.
It's a good episode.
I think that also Sabine and Ezra are getting closer.
What?
And this showed it.
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't?
No, he's a kid.
He's only like a year or two younger than her.
Yeah, but she's been acting like an adult for a lot longer. She's just a lot more mature than him.
Yeah. Guys are always more immature than girls. They have to catch up at some point.
I think that's really a
thing.
sexist thing to say, Jen.
Yeah.
That's just a thing. Boys
It's just a thing.
develop.
It's just what happens.
Boys
I mean,
develop later.
Just like boys have bigger brains. I mean, it's just science.
Yeah, boys are better at math. Right? Don't you agree, Linda? Rocket scientist Linda? Don't you
I'm
agree
not
that boys
saying
are
any
better
of
at
that
math?
stuff.
You are. You're saying that by default, women are more mature than men at the
I'm not
equivalent
saying
age.
women. I'm saying girls and young boys. Usually, boys develop
Right.
later
If I had an
in life.
11-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy, you're saying by default, the girl would be more mature, which is sexist.
I'm saying that I learned that in child development courses, and I thought that was just a fact. Like, I thought that was
No,
a thing.
you
I've
didn't
heard
learn
that.
You
in
misinterpreted
school.
what you learned.
I didn't have to interpret it. That's
Witches
what I
don't
learned.
float either. They'll sink. If you put them in water, they'll sink right to the bottom.
That's very tangential.
Oh, she's giving me quite the death stare.
It doesn't even have anything to do with this in any way. It's like the weirdest comment you could make.
That's what tangential means.
All right, so we are going to do fan feedback now after discussing that particular episode of Rebels.
Now we're only 3 episodes behind, I think.
Yeah, so we'll do a couple more. We'll have plenty of time this week while I'm traveling for work.
Yeah.
It'll be super easy. Here we go. This one is
We
from
also need to
I
discuss
see Spotty.
before we get into the letters.
What?
Are you guys actively reading Catalyst, listening to Catalyst
I
Yes,
have to finish
started it.
Ahsoka. What's Catalyst?
It's the prequel book.
for Rogue One?
Oh, how long is it?
It's long.
28 hours, 42 hours, one of those numbers.
What?
No,
No, 20. I think
it's
it's
11 hours. It's 11 and a half hours.
I'm thinking of the other book that I added.
11 hours.
I think it's even less than that. I think it might be 8 hours.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 11 and a half hours.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I will finish Ahsoka this week, and then I'll start Catalyst.
Well,
I think we should do Catalyst before the...
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, we're running out of
Okay.
calendar dates before the movie comes out.
So, all right, fine.
So it's okay if you don't listen to it.
I'll listen to
you
it.
just got to be on the podcast about it.
Is it annoying like Aftermath? Is it going to make sense?
I'm not going to say it's annoying. I think the guy who does it is really good.
The voice or the
Yeah.
book?
The voice.
It's not Mark Thompson again.
No,
Which
it's not.
I was very happy about.
I think the guy that does it is really good. It's kind of a slow story, and there's not a whole lot that happens.
I heard there were a lot of meetings.
There are a lot of meetings, a lot of tense dinner meetings.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. There's
Like board meeting type stuff?
This sounds awesome.
no, not. There are board meetings, but only one of them. It's just very much not an action story.
That's fine. I'm
Are
into
there
it.
like a billion new characters that you're not going to remember?
There are surprisingly few characters, and you won't know any of them other than Tarkin.
I don't know Tarkin.
You know who.
I'm just kidding. All right.
Most of the characters are new to. They're going to be in Rogue One, or they don't survive the book.
Okay. Sounds great.
We're gonna.
I'll
we're
read
gonna-
it. I'll listen to it this week.
We got to get on here.
I'm saying don't force yourself.
I'll take whatever I can get, and then I'll do what I can, and then we'll see.
Here we go. This is from Icy Spidey. He says, "What's up, Nerd Squadron? Nerd6 signing in. I'm reading Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. I am a little over halfway through and came across a part that confused me a little bit and thought maybe you guys could shed some light on. In Chapter 16, Bail Organa is in his office on Alderaan watching over toddler Leia and reading some intel about the Imperial occupation on Raeda. He deletes the decrypted letter talking about a Jedi sighting and says that he would get the R2 unit back to Captain Antilles. This is the part that confuses me. Are they talking about Wedge? No, they're not. Because if they are, it doesn't seem to match up with the events that occur in Rebels. The Rebels episode, The Antilles Extraction, shows Wedge joining the rebellion when he is still training for the Empire, so he wouldn't be a captain. During this episode, Ahsoka has already fought Vader and is no longer Fulcrum, and all the events in this book happen way before any of that happens. Also, it's worth mentioning that in Season 2 of Rebels, we get to see a teenage Leia, but in this scene in the book, she's a toddler. Am I getting timelines mixed up in my head, or do these events seem out of place? Either way, I'm excited to hear what you guys think. Nerd6 signing out.
You're getting characters confused.
Well,
we actually have talked about this on the podcast before.
Antilles is the Smith of the
galaxy,
of the Star Wars universe.
Seems that way.
So there's a bunch of Antilles out there. So they're not necessarily
Captain
the same.
Antilles is from Alderaan, and Wedge is from Corellia, and they are not the same age and not the same character.
Yeah, and Captain Antilles is who owned.
He was given R2 at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Right, and we see him in that movie, and then he's the one that's getting choked out.
At the beginning of A New Hope.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. This one is from Gary, listener Gary. He says, hello, Tim, Josh, and Jennifer. A friend of mine shared your blog with me a few months ago after hitting NerdCon. I am a high school teacher, and listening to you all is like reconnecting with my nerd friends on the drive home. I love what you all do, and even your banter. Even your banter is really enjoyable. Thanks for taking the time to share your love for Star Wars and bring back in episode 40. Bringing some new life into a classic tale. I'm still back in episode 45, but catching up. It just gets better and better, Gary. I loved your review of Force Awakens. I think you all did a great job of really pulling apart the pieces and characters so we could see where we all agreed and where you gave some food for thought. I had also heard the theory that Rey was Palpatine's daughter. That would be a cool twist. The whole movie really had a lot of backward moments. To have Luke train an heir to Palpatine and turn her for good, while Kylo turned his back on his good heritage and searched the path to evil. It would show that it isn't family heritage that makes a person good or evil, but their individual character and their choices in life. Parents who see their kids doing things out of spite or rebellion understand this all too well. Think about it. What a way to bring balance to the Force, but to turn a hardened Sith line into the light. That is a challenge that Luke has to see as a way to redeem what mistakes he might be blaming himself for. That would be a catalyst for him to come out of his hiding and take up the mantle of Jedi Master again. A buddy of mine and I started a blog post called God Among Geeks. We hit many of the films, TV shows, and books that many neeks, nerds and geeks, enjoy. We look at the learning and inspirational aspect found in them. I am also a sci-fi writer and working on my first book in a series. Oh, cool. I wanted to pass on our sites just so we can find a way to connect our realm of nerdatonium.
I've never heard of that term.
Neeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. GodAmongGeeks.316.com. Check it out. We're doing a series on the Jedi and just happened to get a poetry piece with Kanan. I know you all enjoy him as a character, so we thought you might like the spin on him. If you like, please follow. That was at GodAmongGeeks316.com. We have more coming. Have a happy Thanksgiving, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
Yeah. Rey is nobody. I'm still firmly entrenched on Rey is nobody. But the shuffling of potential conspiracy theories, the ranking of the potential conspiracy theories has changed based on Catalyst.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm more excited to read it now.
Yeah. I think it'd be more exciting just to hear about.
I see Spidey sent another email, but it's about the Ahsoka novel.
Yeah, I haven't read any of those yet because I'm not done.
I think I'm going to save that. I see Spidey. You write enough letters that I think it's okay to not get read on one.
We should read it on our Ahsoka podcast.
We'll read it on the Ahsoka book.
Is that snow or rain?
It looks like snow to me still.
Kind of fast for snow.
It's been really
snow.
fast.
When I turn and look at the green spot in the yard, it's definitely snow. I was looking at white on white. It's impossible to tell.
So we are on the internet, starwarsnerdsunite.com. If you go there, you can follow our Amazon link.
You got to read that Facebook thing.
We are
There's more fan stuff.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Just
what
search
more
us
fan
up.
stuff?
Find us. Rate us. Review us on iTunes.
There's somebody posted a big long thing all about me.
Oh, God.
On what?
On Facebook.
Oh,
Some
was it?
brand new fan.
Your thing's all jacked up. It's always all jacked up. So I bet somebody uses this mic when you're not here,
I don't think so.
and they like to do that.
Probably trying to
It's
sabotage
this
me.
over here too. See,
Oh my gosh.
you're gonna sound.
Messing with the mic while we're recording.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's jacked up.
All right, I got it.
All right, let me find this post.
There's another new fan. We've had a lot of new people writing in lately.
Yeah, it's good. But they're only to episode 45.
What
We'll have to
episode are
see
we
what
on?
96, 97?
Are we?
94? We'll see how their mind changes over the next 40 episodes.
I'm having a hard time finding it. Maybe you can find it better.
I think it's gotten better.
I haven't looked.
It wasn't. Was it on Facebook? It wasn't an email.
I don't remember it.
It was. It definitely came in on Facebook. I know it did. I just don't know. Yeah, there was one from Drew Wackerlin, and then there was one from somebody else sent one. I love Radio Silence.
Here it
on the
is.
podcast.
Her name's Karina Harig. So she posted.
It's probably Herrig.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Okay, so she says, I've been binge listening to the last year's worth of podcast, and I'm here to say I'm girl crushing on Jen. I get a buzz whenever she coos about beards and Star Wars because I can relate. I do the same thing when I see a powerful pair of eyebrows. Jen, let me know when you start a Pinterest board for your Star Wars and beards related interests. I will follow. And then she has a picture of Kylo with his
eyebrows.
big, dark, bushy eyebrows. And then somebody, I don't know this actor's name, but
Isn't it Sam Waterston or?
then somebody else put a picture of this older
guy's
actor.
from
He's from Law and Order.
It's like Sam Waterston.
He's on a new show on Netflix. It's really funny. He plays a gay man, but he has his hair is gray, but he still has these huge, bushy black eyebrows.
Yeah, Sam Waterston.
Sam Waterston. And she says, don't judge eyebrow love. Haha.
Because somebody else posted that.
Somebody else posted that, I think, to make fun of her eyebrow fetish.
I think she was subtly trying to talk about how obsessed she is with me because my eyebrows are so big and
I don't
delicious.
think she's probably seen your eyebrows.
I bet she has.
Well, now you got to post them. Just your eyebrows.
Just your eyebrow.
Drew Wackerlin also posted a thing. He said, finally had a chance to listen. I got to say I was surprised at how entertaining your podcast actually is.
Thanks.
We keep getting all these
There's a story behind that one though.
You know, your podcast actually didn't suck. I just wish in the descriptions of the episodes you called out which ones Mason is proven wrong in. Just a thought. If we did that, I'm afraid that people would only listen to those. And so I don't do it on purpose.
So that way they're listening just on the off chance it happens.
That Mason is proven wrong, yeah.
Drew and I have gone on European escapades together.
Who's Drew?
The person
I know, but
Drew Wackerlin.
who is he?
You don't know. He's from work.
Okay. You went to Europe together?
Yeah.
Sounds romantic.
It was nearly, we almost ended up working an entire night shift at a little Bordeaux hostel in Bavaria.
Whoa.
What?
We ordered a bunch of
hostel in Bavaria.
So it was our last night in Germany, and we were driving back to Munich from Stuttgart, and we wanted to
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, we wanted to hit a real German place. So we went to this little place kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I was driving, and I told Drew, you need to go inside and make sure they take credit cards. We don't have any more euros. No more cash euros. They have to take credit cards. He's like, yeah, he grumbled and he gets out, he goes inside, comes back, gives me the thumbs up. So I go park and we go eat and we get to pay and nobody here speaks English. They're all like country yokels in Germany who only know German and they don't take credit cards. And he's like, oh, I saw the credit card machine. I'm like, did you see the Visa logo? No. Well, then they don't take credit cards. They take EBT cards, and our corporate cards aren't EBT, and none of my cards were EBT, and none of his cards were EBT. It's the card, the chip and pin inside the card. And so we had no money, and we had no way to pay for this food, and we had no way to tell these people that we have a flight back to the U.S. in 6 hours. And he was plastered because he had been drinking large steins of beer the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
And so I got to go on an adventure trying to find an ATM in Germany, and I only knew the PIN to one card. And the first ATM was closed. The next one, like, it was inside of a bank that was closed, and I finally found an ATM, and it was ancient. And I put in my SEFQ card, and it kind of half sucks it in, and then it makes this grinding noise,
Oh my God.
and then fully sucks it in, and then the screen goes blank, and it sat there blank for at least 30 seconds, and I was certain that it had just like eaten my only source of money. I was gonna have to drive back. This was like probably 45 minutes of driving to find an ATM, and it's night out and it's storming, so like it's horrible. And it comes back and it flickers to life, and thankfully I got the euros out and I went back, and
The whole time he's been drinking more, and then you don't have enough euros to pay your new bill.
he said I'm going to drink 2 more. So get this. We knew how many euros to get, and everyone in the place thought I had just ditched him and dined and dashed, and was giving him dirty looks the whole time.
Left him there as a sacrifice. He was going to become
But then they were super nice, and they felt really bad, and they gave us a bunch of glasses that had their daughter's picture on it. They were very proud of. What? Showed us around the restaurant.
That's so weird.
It was super weird.
Well, did they have? Is that what they served their beer in glasses with their daughter's face?
All these little places, they make their own beer, and then they have competitions and stuff, and
so that's kind of like their brand.
Yeah,
their daughter's face.
So I'll show you sometime the next time you're at my house. I'll show you the cup, big glass.
Oh, I'm excited.
That has their daughter's picture on it.
So why is he surprised that it was so good? Our podcast.
Because he worked with me.
Yeah, and he finds Josh annoying like most people do.
Oh,
all right.
Wow.
Josh had to be home in 1 minute, so we're gonna go.
I said I needed to leave at 12:30.
Oh,
okay.
All right. Well, that's our podcast.
You didn't
I hope you liked it.
You didn't finish the rest of your.
I did do most of it. We're on
'Cause I
BenView Network.
interrupted you.
We're on Retro Junkies Network. Love us everywhere.
If you missed the last episode, we're watching Rogue One at Carmike, IMAX 3D.
7 p.m.
In Peoria.
December
the rave,
15th.
the old rave. All right, guys, party on. I mean, that's the other one. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at benviewnetwork.com.